Hi, I'm Jake from JacobTubeHD, and welcome back to the movie I want to talk about. The show that can somehow pump out 4 big Halloween episodes in the week-by-week format and totally not start writing these in August. I am making 4 giant Halloween episodes to celebrate the spoopy season. And you'll get that reference if you were watching my YouTube channel back in 2020, around this time. Now, I would review these movies here in my room like I always do, but this room doesn't scream Halloween. It just screams, I just bought Super Smash Bros. Melee for the GameCube, and I've never been happier. You could count my De La Soul is Dead CD as a Halloween decoration. It counts because death can be a very scary thing. But not scary enough, so off to the living room we go. Wow. This whole intro is just going to be a giant reference to the month of spoops I did a few years ago. I mean, I ain't doing a month of spoops too, but I am doing a Halloween video once a week, so I guess this kind of counts. So what will I be reviewing this month? Franchises. Whole ass franchises. Why am I doing this? Because each of the films in each of the franchises has a very similar plot structure to the original film, so yeah, might as well review all of them. So, in honor of reviewing all 5 Final Destination films today, I found this random twister spinner at a yard sale. You know, the guy that sold it to me said that, you know, every time I spun it, you know, a person dies. So, I mean, he sounded pretty convincing, but he also did say that he was a time traveler from the future and that this spinner is the only way to save the population, so who knows. Also, it's Twister Hoopla. Like, you're not gonna curse a regular twister spinner. It's gotta be Twister Hoopla. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, let's just spin it and let's just see what happens. You know, the best part about this is that it doesn't even tell you who dies. You know, someone could have just, you know, died tragically. Or someone could have just put their right hand on red. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, I don't know because I don't even know how to play Twister Hoopla.
I fucking hate my science teacher, bro. Like, you have no idea. The guy doesn't fucking think with his head. He's stupid. Dude, are you good?
I've never played it before, really.
Yo, bro. Yo, you good, bro?
This whole spinner is just confusing. You know, let's just ignore the fact that someone could have died and let's just get straight into the review. This is Final Destination. This film is about Alex Browning, who is about to go on a class field trip to Paris. He has a premonition of the plane blowing up and freaks out, causing him and the other classmates to get kicked off the plane. After the plane actually explodes, proving the premonition real, fate hunts down the survivors one by one because if you cheat death, it becomes a jealous ex. Final Destination is fine. I know that isn't a good way to start the review, but that's all I got for it. I love the idea and message behind this film that death can come for any of us at any time and you need to make the most of the time you have here. I also love how creative the death scenes are. It's like each death scene is setting off the trap in a game of Mousetrap. My joke about death being a jealous ex is really true. Everyone who cheated death by getting off that plane dies in the most convoluted way possible, and it's just funny. It creates a lot of suspense of trying to figure out how these people will die, but it's also just funny seeing how crazy these deaths can get. My only problem is that nothing really emotionally connects me to any of the characters to want to see them live. There was a storyline that was cut out of the movie where Alex and Clear Rivers have an emotional relationship with Clear getting pregnant. That storyline would have actually got me invested in at least 2 characters, but they were cut out after test screenings. This film doesn't really give you any reasons to root for the characters to survive, but you didn't come here for that. You came here for the deaths. And this film definitely delivers what it promises it will deliver. Final Destination gets a 3 out of 5 buses. Now, before I move on to the next film, I really want to spin the spinner again. It's like my fidget toy and I can't help myself. Anticlimactic yet again. But But hey, at least I don't feel like spinning this for another couple minutes so I can review the next movie that made an entire generation afraid of driving behind log trucks. This is Final Destination 2. This film is about Kimberly Corman going on a road trip with her friends. She has a premonition of a massive car accident due to a log truck and freaks out, causing her and others to leave their cars. After the accident happens, killing Kimberly's 3 friends and proving the premonition is real, fate hunts down the survivors one by one, just like the last movie. Unlike the first film, they have the help of Clear, who is the survivor of the events in the first film, which is a spoiler, but she's on the posters for this one, so it's fine. Final Destination 2 feels very similar to the first film. Very violent kills with very mousetrap ways of killing people, along with characters that you don't grow personal attachment to, which prevents you from caring if they live or die. However, they actually brought Clear back in a meaningful way that makes me care about her. She even has an interesting arc with her being the sole survivor of the first film's events. I'm shocked that this film has gotten me to care about a character in a franchise filled to the brim with disposable characters. The rules of how Death's plan works in this film and how to cheat the system is more nuanced in this film than the last one, which is a good and bad thing. It elevates this film and does things the first film didn't do, but the logic and how it works raises questions in the end, when the first film's logic was simple and easy to understand. There's also some CGI shots that don't age well, but I can't crap on it too much since this film came out in the early 2000s. But at least the practical effects outweigh the digital effects because they definitely had a higher budget this time around, especially with the opening accident. Final Destination 2 is just the first film with more brutal deaths. Once again, if you are here for a bloody gore fest and see a bunch of people dying, then you'll definitely enjoy this film more than the first one. Final Destination 2 gets a 3 out of 5 nipple piercings. Alright, it's been a couple minutes. Time to spin the Twister Hoopla spinner again. You know, every time I spin it, I think something's gonna happen, but every time it just lands on a different body part and color. I can't even tell which one it fully landed on. You know, it just. There's multiple modes with Twister Hoopla and there's multiple decks. You know what? Let's just get into the next film. Hopefully this one, it feels a little bit different than the last two. Probably not, but, I have to review all these films anyway. This is Final Destination 3. This film is about Wendy Christensen, who is attending an amusement park with her friends and classmates to celebrate their graduation. She has a premonition of the roller coaster breaking down and freaks out, causing her and other classmates to leave the ride. After the roller coaster breaks apart, killing some of her friends, her boyfriend, and proving the premonition real, fate hunts down the survivors one by one. Yeah, that sounds about right. There is one interesting thing about this film, which is that it has a choose their fate option on the DVD where you get to make pivotal choices that change the course of the movie. There is an actual choice that you can make to end the movie in minutes. Is this film different than the other two? Kind of. Normally the person who has the premonition sees clues that relate to someone's future death. This time, since Wendy is a photographer, all the pictures of the survivors contain hints of how they're going to die. I really love this concept and it adds more mystery to the film. All these characters are destined to die, but this feature gives them more of a fighting chance than the other films. The deaths are obviously more crazy because why wouldn't they be? It's fucking Final Destination. If you're going to make 3 of these, you're gonna have to go and get more overboard with the deaths. I also really felt attached to Wendy as a character. She really made me emotionally invested in the story. This film, while feeling very similar to the other films, contains a new and exciting element as well as a character to get you emotionally invested into the story. Final Destination 3 gets a 4 out of 5 bottles of lotion. Now, I don't need to set this up because I'm going to keep spinning the spinner. You know what? This shit's really starting to feel like a Final Destination film. Where, after every movie, I have to spin the spinner even though I don't know if it's actually doing something.
Alright then, what am I gonna watch? Jaws Revenge. Oh my god, it has a 0%. Can't be that bad.
I know what you're doing. I'm hungry.
But I can't help myself because this shit's just become too addicting to spin it every few minutes. And you know what? I'm just going to move on to the next film before I start going insane. This is Final Destination 4. It's not called Final Destination 4. It's actually called The Final Destination. Well, why not name it Final Destination 4? The one after this is called Final Destination 5. Why leave this one to be the fucking odd man out? Fuck it. This is The Final Destination. It's a stupid name. This film is about... You know what? Let me guess the plot of this movie before I even see it. Okay, I'll guess it only knowing the scenario of the opening scene. It starts with a racetrack. Great. This film is about Nick O'Bannon, who goes to watch a race with his friends. He has a premonition of cars crashing and freaks out, causing him, his friends, and other people in the crowd to leave the stands. After the cars actually crash, killing everyone else in the stands and proving the premonition real, fate hunts down the survivors one by one. Now let's watch this movie. I'm not even surprised anymore. I'm not surprised that every entry in this franchise feels like fucking Groundhog's Day. You'd think that they try to do something different in each film, but not with The Final Destination. There's not much to talk about with these repetitive films besides the same talking points, but at least the other sequels try to do something new in the same formula of the first film. The only thing new here is the shitty 3D effects that wouldn't even look good if I was watching this with 3D glasses. The effects of this film are awful. I can't even give this film the benefit of the doubt of being released in the early 2000s because it came out in 2009. This film is just awful. We're back to the roots of me not giving a shit about any of these characters and not feeling emotionally attached to them. All the deaths include digital effects when the other three had some really good practical effects. Some of the deaths are too far-fetched. Even for the standard this franchise has set, these deaths are too crazy, bizarre, and unrealistic. This is the one where they just ran out of ideas for how to kill people in crazy ways. This film is a prime example of we ran out of ideas, but the other three movies made a ton of money because they can't even execute what the franchise is known for correctly. Add that with shitty 3D and you get the worst movie in this franchise. The Final Destination gets a 2 out of 5 bottles of hairspray that can just move on their own for some reason. And I don't even have a funny fucking joke to add to this shit movie, so let's just spin the spinner and just get this shit over with. Yeah, I think this episode is just my descent into insanity. And it's just the first episode of the month. You know what? Let's just move on to the final movie before they make a sixth one, since they're actually making a sixth one. That's not even a joke. I'm not even kidding. They were supposed to go into production on the sixth one right before the strike started. This is Final Destination 5. This film is about Sam Lawton, who is about to go on a retreat with the company he works for. He has a premonition of the bridge the bus drives over snapping and freaks out and... Hold up. Someone survived the premonition? How the fuck did that happen? What happens to her? Is she just off death's list despite being the ex-girlfriend of the main character? Anyway, he freaks out, causing him and other work colleagues to leave the bus and get off the bridge. After the bridge actually breaks apart, proving the premonition real, fate hunts down the survivors one by one. You know, when I started this, I came up with the idea to copy and paste the original film's plot description and change the scenario to correlate to each movie to see how repetitive these films are with their premises. And yeah, they've worked perfectly like every time to describe these movies. I mean, the ex-girlfriend surviving the premonition threw me for a loop, but besides that, they've been all the same. The fourth film mentally broke me, but this film brought me back. They added an interesting concept of taking someone else's life to save yourself from death's chain. I really thought that concept was interesting, and this film did a great job of exploring that and the morality of it. I didn't get as attached to the characters here as I did in the third film, but I really did care for our core group of characters, mainly Sam, ex-girlfriend Molly, and Peter. Every death here is a 100% step up from the last film, and some were even hard for me to watch. harder than other deaths in this franchise. There's some 3D effects in this film, but they aren't as in-your-face and obvious as they were in the last film. There's also some bad CGI effects in this film, but once again, nothing will ever be worse than the last film. Also, I won't spoil this film's ending, but holy shit, it's awesome. Every film ends with some tragedy happening to one or multiple survivors, but the scenario in this film is interesting to say the least, and the best of the whole franchise. This entry in the franchise adds a new element to keep things fresh, the scariest deaths in the franchise, and a really fucking good character study about the morality of taking someone's life. Final Destination 5 gets a 4 out of 5 nails that terrify the living shit out of me and creates the most suspenseful scene in this entire franchise. So, to celebrate the end of the Final Destination series, even though they're making another one and this one should have been the last one, let's spin the spinner one last time. Ooh, right hand on yellow. Or green. I can never tell with this. Final Destination as a franchise is very repetitive, but shines when it tries to do something out of the norm from its formula. My favorite film is Final Destination 5 for having a unique concept that changes so much in the film. My least favorite is The Final Destination for being so unoriginal, even in the one thing every other Final Destination film gets right, which is the kills. Also, I've learned 2 things from this video. 1, this stupid spinner does nothing and I'm bored of it. 2, I'm staying the fuck away from water, okay? Water has been involved in at least one death in every film, so I'm not ignoring any signs. This spinner ain't a sign. I spun it 6 times and I am not seeing that 6 people randomly died on the same day from unknown cause. So, I just saw in the news that yesterday 6 random people died back to back without any information about the cause of death. You know what? I'm just not gonna buy anything from a garage sale or a yard sale ever again. Both of them. I need to boycott both sales. And you know what? I'm just never trusting weird old men again. Okay, if a random old guy says that he's from the future, believe him. Because if you don't believe him, people die. People just die. You know, I just need to stop playing games that are Twister or Twister Hoopla or whatever Twister modes are out there. I should get some ice cream. Yeah. Ice cream sounds good. Sounds good right about now.
Ah!
Hold up. Before the rest of the Jake 2 Productions logo plays, there's some things I gotta do. First off, thank you guys so much for watching the episode. Hope you liked it. Second off, I need to shout out everyone who provided a cameo for this video, because without them, this whole thing would not be possible. So that is Cody, Mia, Trevor, Andrew, Gavin, and Kelly. So I'll just go through them individually. Cody, he's a great guy. He's actually taking over my spot on Eminem, because if you don't know, Eminem was a show that I did for my high school that I've graduated from. So he is taking over the spot on View from the Hilltop. So go check him out on that. I don't want to say the channel name because I don't want to dox myself and what city I live in. So, but please go check that out if you want to do the digging for when that comes out later this month. Mia, she's incredible. She has a YouTube channel. She does fun vlogs. It is just called Mia. Everyone's links will be in the description below. Go check it out. Trevor, he does some gaming stuff. He does some random stuff. Go check out his channel, Trevor C. He also comes from the same cloth I come from with high school and stuff. He had his own show on View from the Hilltop called Weird Fun Facts. He is currently in the process of making a brand new show, which I've heard little tidbits about, and I'm super excited to check it out, and I hope you guys are too. So both of his channels, Trevor C and Weird Fun Facts, will be in the description below. Andrew, he has a channel called Great Day Adventure. Pretty much if you're into theme park stuff like Disney World, Universal Studios Orlando, SeaWorld, and other theme parks in the Orlando area, his content's for you. Go check him out. Gavin, he's taken over the music spot on Eminem, which I never uploaded on here because it was never my part. It was someone else's half. But once again, go check that out when that releases at the end of the month, from what I'm hearing. And lastly, Kelly, she does reaction videos. She does paranormal videos. She does a bunch of stuff. Go check out her channel, Casey So Random. Also, go check out her gaming channel, Casey So Gaming. The reason why I'm plugging it is because I made the banner image on YouTube for it. So please go check both of those channels out. Go check out everyone's links in the description below. Cody and Gavin's Instagrams are also in the description below, so please go drop them a follow on there. I'll put everyone else's Instagrams in the description too. Drop them a follow on Instagram, subscribe to their channels. Go send them all the love in the world, because without them, this video would not be possible. They made this a hilarious running joke even better with their cameos. So thanks to everyone who submitted a cameo, who took time out of their days to do it. And thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Peace out, Jake 2 fam. Run the rest of the Jake 2 Productions logo.